Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jag, and in today's class, we're going to continue with our Biology 11 content. And today's topic is going to be about dihybrid crosses. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here we are. And so remember, a dihybrid cross basically means I have two separate traits. Okay, so let's try maybe like a definition here of what a dihybrid cross is. Okay, so we're all on the same page. Okay, so I'm going to put a dihybrid cross, okay, involves two traits. Okay, and instead of this being just kind of like a 4 Punnett square cross, this is actually going to be a 16 Punnett square cross. Okay, and let me just write that here. Okay, so 16 Punnett square cross. And you'll know when you have like two traits, okay? You have to make sure you read the question very carefully. All right, so let's try this example. I'm going to read the question out loud, okay? So a male and a female guinea pig are both heterozygous for fur color and fur texture. Both the dark fur is capital D. So I'm just going to write it here, okay? Capital D. Okay, and the rough fur is capital R, and these are the dominant traits. So let's put rough fur, capital R. Okay, usually it doesn't matter what kind of, which letters you want to use here. Okay, but it looks like we're just using capital D for dark and capital R for the rough. Okay. All right, and if you don't have basically a dark fur, okay, you have the light fur. Okay, again, we are looking at a guinea pig, okay? So when I put down the light fur, I don't want to use a different letter. You notice I'm using capital D for the dark fur and the lowercase d for the light fur, okay? And here, where you have the rough fur, I'm going to put also smooth fur, is going to be recessive. Okay, and remember, recessive just means that I'm using a lowercase letter here, okay? So the lowercase r. Okay, so we're going to try our cross here. Okay, so I'm just going to draw some of the lines. Okay, so again, it has to be a 16 Punnett square cross. Okay, I'm going to draw the table here first. Okay, and then I'm just going to show you how we're coming up with the gametes. Okay, so we'll just make one more line here. Okay, so say I have the parents, okay? That's right on the bottom here. Okay, so for the parents here, okay, they both have to be, it says they're both heterozygous, okay, for fur color and for texture color, okay? And so what we're going to do is they're going to be heterozygous for the dark fur and heterozygous for the rough fur, okay? So again, remember when they're heterozygous, you just have one capital letter and one small letter, okay? And this still gives you, because the dark fur is dominant, capital D, small d is still dark fur. Same thing here, the rough fur is going to be dominant. So if I have a capital R and small r, that's still going to be the rough fur. Okay, so this is the male guinea pig, and I'm crossing it with the female guinea pig, okay? So just like this. And now I'm going to find out the gametes, okay? And how you do that is kind of like foiling it out, just like you do in math. So I'm going to draw some arrows here. So you see the first arrow I drew is the capital D, capital R, okay? And then it's going to be capital D, small r. Everyone see that? And then you're going to go to the center. You can see I have small d, capital R, okay? And the small d and the small r, and both are recessive here. So these are actually my gametes. I'm going to use my gametes in my 16 square Punnett square cross here. Okay, so I'm going to write it at the top. So we're going to use basically the same gametes, okay, going across like this, okay? And I'm going to use the same gametes going down the side as well. Does everyone see that? And this is how you're actually making a 16 square or a 16 Punnett square cross, okay? And it's basically just like how we did the other crosses as well. Okay, so I'm going to just bring down these letters. So say I'm doing the first box here. I'm going to put the D's first and then the R's, okay? I'm doing this box here. I'm bringing down the DR, capital DR, and the capital D, small r. Okay, so capital D, capital R, small r. Did everyone see that? Let's try this box here. Bring both of these down. Capital D, small d, capital R, capital R. Okay? And now say I'm doing this one. Okay? I'm bringing it down one more time. Capital D, capital R, small r. Okay? Does everyone see how we're doing that? Make sure you're putting the letters together. Okay? And always put the capital letter first. So let's try this box here. Okay? Capital D, capital R, small r. We're going to come here. And we'll look at what these letters mean, okay, in just a second. So capital D, small r. Okay, these are actually the genotypes. Remember, this is the exact gene, okay, that I have for each of the offspring. So let's fill this out. And then we're going to do this box. Just again, bring it down, okay? So just like this. Everyone sees that? Okay, when you do these types of questions, you do have to show your work. Okay, so make sure you are showing each and every cross that you have here. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, and the next box, okay, we're going down and across. And you'll notice a lot of the genotypes are just about the same here. Okay, and this one, I have bringing it down. So small d, capital R. Okay. Let's try this box here. Okay, 2 lowercase d's, capital R, small r. And then let's go to the side here. Okay, so this is the last row. So capital D, small d, capital R, small r. Okay. And this box here, so move it back. So bring it down. Capital D, small r. Okay. Make sure you don't rush when you're doing, okay, the 16 square Punnett square crosses. Okay, and the reason is you don't want to have the wrong genotypes here, okay? It'll give you the wrong answer. Okay, and lastly, we have, if you look at this last box here, everything is lowercase in this last box, okay? And what you will notice, okay, is that I have basically a constant ratio every time I do the dihybrid cross, okay? And this is what Mendel found as well when he was working with his pea plants, okay? You have, I'm going to write the ratio here. It's a 9:3 to 3:1 ratio, okay? All right, and the question asks basically, what are the recessive traits and what letters would you use for them, okay? And that's the question for part A. So these are the recessive letters here. I'm going to underline it. The light fur we indicated by using the lowercase d. And then the smooth fur we indicated by using the lowercase r. Okay? The other question is, what are the parents' phenotypes for part B? And this is what we use for the parent phenotypes, okay? And the reason we use this for both of them is because they're heterozygous for both of the traits. Okay? Part C says, how many different gametes are formed and what are they? So these are the gametes, okay, that I wrote down at the bottom here, okay? So we have 4 types of gametes that are formed whenever you do a dihybrid cross, okay? All right, and so let's take a look at, if you take a look at our table here, okay? I'm going to write down, okay, how many. So I have the actual ratio here. And now we're just going to write down what that means, okay? So I have 9 out of 16. There's a dark and the rough fur. And 3 out of 16 is a dark smooth fur. Okay, next you have 3 out of 16 is the light and the rough fur. And then 1 out of 16, this is a light, smooth fur. Okay, so just like that. And you can check out all of the genotypes, okay, from our 16 square Punnett square cross here. Okay, and you'll notice again that we will always get the 9:3 to 3:1 ratio. Okay, and so one of the questions says, determine the frequency of offspring that have the rough, dark fur. Okay, so we have the frequency here, rough, dark fur, is 9. Okay, so 9 out of 16. Okay, so let's just make an arrow here. So 9 out of 16 have the rough, dark fur. Okay, and that's our answer for that question. And determine the frequency of offspring that express both recessive traits. Okay, so basically both of the recessive traits here is basically this one right here. So this is recessive, and both of them are lowercase. So lowercase d's with the lowercase r's. This is the light fur and the smooth fur. Okay, and that's always the lowercase recessive traits is always going to be 1 over 16. Okay. All right, and that's actually all you are doing here. And this is actually the most common type of example that you will get, okay, on a test or a quiz. So make sure you are practicing kind of the 16 square Punnett square cross. Make sure you're getting this ratio all the time, okay? All right. So that looks good. And if there are no questions, that does bring this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see everyone next time. Thanks. Bye.